Welcome to the Final Frontier server hosted by Holger, and the link for the server is in the description below. But yeah, this is a mod pack by Ichigo Games. Been out, I'd say, since January. I've been playing on various different servers since then. This is the 4th iteration of the public server that I've played on. And yeah, this is currently, well, I'd say this server's been active for about 2 months now since the reset. And we are currently pretty active right now, although there's nobody else on. We get about 15 active players that play off and on throughout the week and various times, since it is a worldwide server. Anyways, this is currently where I'm calling home, and I have a very large area, and I'm pretty happy with how it's come together. Again, I've been playing here for about 2 months now, so I've got quite a bit here to show off, and not a lot to hide, but some stuff I want to keep secret, so we won't go into those areas because, you know, trade secrets and all. No, I'm just kidding, everything's open. Basically what happened is I started with the spawn point, and as I worked my way through the map, I came here. I like this area here because it kind of reminded me of another public server I'd played on for a while, but it got shut down because of problems with the mod pack. Anyways, and I cleared this roguelike dungeon, which is pretty vast. The whole thing kind of encompasses this area right along like this. And once that was cleared, I decided, I'm going to go ahead and make this my home. So I hollowed out this hill here. I've even expanded it a little bit by adding larger structures and things like that. And as you can see, it's been snowing. And I'm pretty happy with how it's come together. Now, these were going to be gardens for vast harvesting and stuff, but I never really finished those because it turned out I really didn't need them. Of course, I got my Galactic Craft silicon ore here, just growing. No, actually, I just put it there. I was going to break it down with a fortune pick, but again, I really don't need it. So let's go ahead and go inside. This is my humble home. It's not that big in here. It's just sort of a square layout. And you can see I just have some basic machines up. I have a very small AE system going. Got some Go Juice in the can there. Do have a teleporter system, and this is interlinked to a bunch of other people's bases. As you can see, quite a few folks. We even have the moon, Mars, outside the moon. So there is a moon base which was established. Quite a few homes. I won't go to any of those because I don't know if any of those guys are actually doing YouTube videos, and I don't want to. If they are, I don't want to spoil anything that they're doing. Here's my storage scanner, which turned out to be a pretty cool little find and tool early on to do up recipes and stuff. Mostly these are set up currently for the AE system because that was what I was using it primarily for at that time to do. Now most everything's done through the AE system itself. So, and while I don't have that many storage drives for the AE system, I do have most of my stuff stored in drawers, compacting drawers through here, and if we bounce on down, I have a bunch of single drawers down below tied in with, I think, 3 or 4 drawer controllers. So I have a series of drawers. I have these cloches, and I've noticed that the cloches, when they run, they cause quite a bit of lag, so we atypically don't run these if we're not online and we don't need to. And as you can see here, I have quite the storehouse of goodies. I was testing it. I've never used these before. This is the first time I've used them, and they are very cool mechanic. Of course, this is for fertilizer and all this stuff here. And all this stuff here gets converted into fuel through the crushers and stuff here. But right now, I have the crushers currently disabled. Or they're not disabled, they're just not hooked up. I have nothing hooked up here because these things generate a lot of noise, and some server lag. I should go ahead and hook it back up because I'm the only one on the server right now, but I don't know how long I'll be on for. This is part of a mod called Overloaded. It is truly an OP mod, no doubts about it. In fact, the guys that designed this mod played on the server for quite a while. So yeah, and they had some really OP armor and a lot of OP storage stuff for power and things like that. But these water crystals or these water sources are really cool, so that's why I'm using them. But yeah, well, for the longest time here, all these were going away, just pounding away and providing raw material, which was converted into this stuff right here, biofuel, and the biofuel was converted into liquid ethylene. As you can see, 44,000 buckets of ethylene. That is a lot of ethylene. Right now I have this condenser set to turn it from a liquid back into a gas, and the gas is running the generators. As you can see, they're blinking and stuff. They ran out of mesh, so they shut down. I don't know when. I haven't played on the server for a couple of days, but yeah, so I had to fire them back up because they're also powering all my tech gun stuff. And tech guns is another really fun mod because it gives you all sorts of weapons and goodies to play with. And I'm looking for some of the cooler weapons. Oh yeah, check out my, well, actually that's my crystal one, but you'll get the hints of it. It's a light sword. This is a crystal sword. I'm really happy with it. But yeah, tech guns has a lot of really nice features to it. I like my light swords. But let's see here what we got for tech guns. I thought I had some floating around here. Ah, yeah, I went and tore down an aircraft carrier because they do have aircraft carriers. They also have bases all over, then they have like little outposts. Don't try to take on a base, because if you try to take on a base, you'll get your butt handed to you pretty readily. So, but the modeling on these things is really nice. They've got M4s, they've got pistols, they've got all sorts of neat things here. You know. The Steyr, he's even got a scope on it, or a sight. Thompson Center here, 45 ACP. Then we have a Kalashnikov, 7.62 by 3.9. But yeah, and this stuff here, all these machines in here, allow me to make and create bullets and ammunition. And this one right here is a fabricator, and I just built this just before logging off a couple of days ago, and I had to sort how to get power through it. As you can see, I got inter-IO conduits going to the top of this thing. One thing I have learned is do not put a hopper on top of this. Do not hook hoppers up to any part of these machines. It causes, I did it single player, and I lost my world because of it. I had to use MC Edit to go in and delete this multi-structure here, then I was able to get back in. Yeah, and then when I did it again, same thing happened, but that time I wasn't able to save the single player game. So yeah, don't hook up hoppers to these machines. This is a 3D printer. This right here is the fabricator. I haven't used these yet. I did use them, I believe, on the first iteration of the server 1. I did get them up and running, and I made some pretty cool stuff. I think I even had a brief video about setting up an assault weapon, you know. Yeah, an assault weapon is a completely politically made up term to make people scared of firearms. So, yeah. But that's what they call them, so that'll be the shitty term that I have to use. But anyways, you come back through here, and I have my basic AE system. It's not organized, it's just I got it up as fast as I could, fast and dirty, because I'm trying to relearn AE. I haven't used it since the second iteration of the server, and I didn't even set it. I was going to set it up on the third iteration of the server, but that was also a Holger hosted server, and that was up for about 4 months before the map was, because of the updates to the mod pack, the map had to be updated or reset, so everybody decided to go with a reset. So yeah, but I never got around to building it, so in the interim from server 2 to server 4 here, I forgot everything about AE. So I'm kind of relearning AE. And we did have applied logistics, this is applied logistics. We had refined storage on for version 3, and what we found is that for some odd reason, we would lose our inventories when the server would restart, and we'd lose all the material that was in that system. And we could never figure out why that was happening, so pretty much gave up on it. Here are the automating systems for it, the AE2 stuff. These things are fantastic. They make it so much easier to play with AE. Way much easier. And if we come back around here, we've got my little Empower system from Actual Editions, albeit I've only used this thing a couple of times, and that was to set up my drill. And then I've got the advanced generators. I love this mod. I first learned about it by watching Direwolf 20, and he was doing his Direwolf server play, and I really liked it. I really do. This one here is the gas generator, and it runs off of both this fuel and the fuel you'll see right there, which I'm generating from above us with oil from Galactic Craft, I think it is. But I am full up on power here. And then these two, this is a steam generator, and it requires steam to run. And these machines both provide steam and fuel, although this one currently is just set up to provide fuel. It doesn't do steam, it's just generating fuel. And this one here is fuel as well. Excuse me. These are fuel, these run off of coal. And what I have is, I have coal being fed into this RF tool thing here, crafter, and it pumps into this machine here and keeps this machine nice and full of coal and provides power. This is the steam generator right here, or the heat coil thing. And right now it's not producing a lot of steam because it doesn't really need to, but these things can get pretty big if you need them to be. They have a byproduct of obsidian, and so the obsidian comes in here, and then I have it pumping into a trash can because I have more obsidian than I'll ever need in 1,000 hours of gameplay. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how all these came together. They look confusing, but yeah, what can I tell you? Just a lot of piping, but once you know what you're looking at, it's pretty easy to figure out. Down there it just goes down to the early mines, and then come through here you can see some of the early power systems. And then my exploit system here. I have these automatic, this is my mechanical users have a special item inside of them that when I turn that on generates all sorts of nifty loots and things like that, and gold and diamonds and stuff and a bunch of rail crap, and all this stuff here usually gets filled up. I mean, I can get more actually edition stuff than I can incredible amounts of actually edition stuff and diamonds and all this other nifty stuff and all kinds of cool things. But typically I have it set up so anything that can be crushed into diamonds gets crushed into, it goes to a crusher. Anything that can be melted goes to a smeltery. And anything that I don't want, which I get a lot of things, are pumped into these 4 trash cans. So, and I'm not sure, I remember hooking this up, but I don't remember what's in it. So, anyways, what the, oh, yeah, I was going to do something with down here, but I never got around to it. Again, you could play for 40 hours a week, you know, and still only barely touch the surface of a mod pack these days. And while I'm here, I'm going to grab my spitballs. And these are just basic storage. This here, of course, is to convert the logs in using industrial foregoing into plastic, which you can turn into plastic sheets, and from there you can, you know, go along and build all sorts of nifty machines like these right here. These allow me to do all sorts of enchantments. It's one of the first things I usually like to build. Well, I first build the mosh pits over here, or the spawners. Usually it's just one spawner, but in this case I have 2 going, and I'm not sure why I have a green light going here. That's interesting. I'll have to figure that out, because I don't think that's a beacon. That's just some light that's coming through, and maybe it's somebody else's waypoint on the team. I'll figure it out later. Wait a minute. No, it says death. Yeah, it says it death. So let's go ahead and go into JEI. Go to waypoints. And evidently I died on 9/30, 3 days ago. Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, we were having some fun. Myself and Dad at 30. And we had a bunch of shulkers. I was spawning shulkers, and they were spawning everywhere, and I suffocated in the wall. Yeah, this of course is Cursed Earth. These are spawners that I collected from the dungeon below us, and the reason they have cardboard boxes on them is that's how I disable them. And if I turn the lights off, within a few seconds I start spawning baddies and stuff in there. But and of course what happens is the essence, the industrial foregoing machines collect essence, which is much like experience but different. And the essence comes down here and is stored in this machine right here, and is used by industrial foregoing to do enchanting and or run the spawners, so that I can actually spawn specific creatures that I've caught inside of these these mob imprisonment tools, and I've got quite a list of bugs. A few of them I've misplaced. I think what happens is sometimes I put them in there and they just sort of get lost, so I'm down about 20 of them, but that's okay because I don't really need them. Then I have like you saw here, a little lighting system that comes on and off. That's just basic redstone. I tried doing it with remote redstone using RF tools, but I couldn't get the wireless redstone to work. And then of course loot stuffs, elevators, let me go up and down, and all the okay. We don't want to see that. That forget you saw that. But yeah, those are loot bags. Useless, utterly, completely useless. Nothing in them that you need, unless you know how to exploit them, which I'm not going to tell you how. But you have to come on the server and look to figure it out. Anyways, got lots of goodies through here. Again, a lot of this stuff gets truncated. If you come down here into the guts of the system, just a bunch of trash cans and stuff and everything else down through here. I have a little thing up here. If I want to, I can add stuff to it. This is my emergency overflow, and it looks like it's got 115 items in it. Again, a bunch of loot bags and stuff like that that I'll never use. A bunch of salvaged stuff that I like to put on the wall and try to build something on the wall, because I sure as hell don't know how to use that mod. Although a lot of the guys that have played on there, that's one of the first things they go for, is that, you know, cybernetics mod thing, and they love it. I love my statues. I had to buy a couple of these from some other players, but I really like them. And these are quartz lights. Really cool lighting system. Every now and then they have a little purple spark. And these ones I've earned. I've earned a couple of them. I've earned this one, this one. I believe I bought those 4, and I earned that one as well. So I've got two of these. So you can bet I've spawned a lot of those guys. And I have I think this is the one. No, that's not the one. I've got so many elevators. This area has changed so much over the course of 2 months. So I got my little hurt ball down here, storing energy. I've got one here, and I've got one on the moon. Although the one on the moon is only loaded when I'm on the moon, but it still collects a lot of the energy from those solar arrays you saw outside, plus a degree of energy from that gas generation there. The rest of the base is run off of the gas from the gas generator and the steam generator. So that's where all the power for those goes into this one. But I've got this started setting this up, and because I want to get better organized and things like that. And I got a bunch of stuff down here and see more. You can see if there are some more compacting drawers stuck up there just for giggles and whatnot. But my giant hurt ball here, it's only a level 4. But as you can see, it is full. And I have a Wither Star generator, but this thing keeps poisoning me, so I don't like it. Come up here and we'll go, whoops. I just changed batteries in my mouse, so it's kind of special feeling. Sorry, it got dark there. Here we are in the dungeon. Hey, how you doing? Hey there, get away from me. You will not kill me. But I will hit you with my RF tool, or my... Okay, maybe you will kill me if I don't get you quick enough. I'll come and get rid of the spawner. Anyways, my Flux Infused stuff. Love my Flux Infused bow. Oh, that thing's deadly. Anyways, you can see down here, I cleared all this out down here. And then, here we are. Down at bedrock. That's my wither killer. And what I have here is I have a Draconic Evolution mob grinder. Oops, something weird just happened. And I have flux infused. I have flux power coming down to the energy cube and powering, if you can see it in there, industrial foregoing wither builder. And what I usually do is I stand right here. It goes boom, 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 and you know, gets me a bunch of nether stars and a bunch of other things. And right here is where I put all the stuff, and it gets piped up into that. Right now I think it's, yeah, all the goodies to run it are stored right here, because it is loud. And I have a whole bunch of other goodies stored through here. Well, I did. Wow, somebody raided my chests. Good for them. You know, if they can get them open, they can have whatever in them, because I don't like them. Come on, one more up. There we go. Anywho, then that way. Let's go this way. Come up around here. You see some more stuff. My little engineering workbench. Bunch of obsidian boxes. I thought by upgrading to obsidian I'd get more storage space, but no, it just makes them unbreakable. And here's the smeltery. And what I do is I get any gold rewards like saddles and things like that. It all comes in here. So do all the iron stuff that can be smelted down comes in through this chest here into the smeltery, and then the smeltery sorts it out from there into various nifty things. I think that's lava. Yeah, it is lava. I don't know what's there. I have my little drain right here to collect XP. And yeah, so what we got in here? You can see we've got quite a few. I've rated this thing pretty heavily over the last working on stuff. So that's where all my resources were coming from. Were all my iron and gold, anyways, as well as all my diamonds and emeralds. And I have a lot of those. This is just some other stuff that I built for Pam's Harvest Craft, and then you can see the berries and stuff like that. I do get a lot of these berries, and then I got some fireworks. When you find dungeons, sometimes you find dispensers that are full of fireworks and things like that, but they like the server horribly. Got a bunch of food. Yeah, a bunch of seeds. Here's the pantry, as you can see. I'll eventually have a row of these going along the top here, or a row of these, because these work out really well. You know, put stuff up there if you have to, but full of food and things like that. Ooh, check that out. So, that's kind of neat. That looks empty. It had a red background in it, but yeah, put all my food and stuff in here. Been crushing a lot of soybeans, so I get a lot of firm tofu and soy milk. And then we're into the advanced rocketry. What I do is I go around the server and I find sources of oil, and I think it's in this pack here. Yeah, there it is. And what I do is I refine the oil and make sure I'm in the right spot here, and into fuel by using these two refineries here. And yeah, I'm doing okay. And then of course the fuel, I have a switch here that allows me to turn on and off, but it goes into this ender tank, and of course this ender tank goes directly below us into this machine right here. And it also, if it runs low of that, it also gets the fuel from the the coal and stuff. Now on server 2, I ran exclusively with thermal expansion, liquefied coal, and solar. And the liquefied coal, it just eats through the coal like you would. But nice byproduct of that is creosote, and I ended up using creosote as fuel for running a whole different series of generators and things. Here's my draconic evolution setup, and it's powered by this energy cube as well as, and that's not a good one to use. I'm gonna have to upgrade that one to a better tier one, and so forth. So, because it's not dumping a lot of energy, that's probably why I wasn't getting enough energy to run this. But it took me a while to figure out how to do this. Basically, you put some things on here, and you put some things in here, and it goes zzz, 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 and you end up with various amount of things. One other cool thing I've learned is that these things right here make awesome shrikens from Tinker's Construct. Instead of using, you'd take those and you would see if I actually have one of them floating around. I do. Now, if I wanted to upgrade this, what you would do, or make this, you would come into the to the tool table here, and you would see how it has the knife blade. You would take the Wyvern core, this thing, and you would set it in here, and it makes a knife blade. And you would use 4 of those, and you would make a shuriken, and then of course level the shuriken up. But since my shuriken is, I thought I'd set it up so it was unbreakable, but probably isn't. I use it to kill the Ender Dragon a couple times after the server host showed me that they are very, very efficient killing machines. But with the Redstone Flux infused bow, pretty much everything is pretty much weak compared to that. A fully set up bow is very, very powerful. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've got going on here. This is a water source. This is the Deep Dark. This is where Dad at 30 and I were the last time I played. We were bouncing around in the Deep Dark, and you can get a lot of resources from the Deep Dark. Oh my gosh. In fact, I need to go there anyways. Actually, screw that. I do believe, because I'm wondering if my well, I know I put one in here for it. There it is. I put my mechanism miner down there and my digital miner. I'm wondering if it's still there or not. Gotta wait a minute for the load to finish. I died in here once as well. Had to step away while we were playing, and of course, if you get too far into the dark, you start taking damage after a few seconds, and that's what happened. I took damage and died. I was most embarrassed. There's dat at 30s. So let's see here how much we got going. Whoa, wow. We're full. That is a lot of stuff. I don't think I have any empty cards on me. I'm pretty sure I don't. I think I used them all up on the resource miners. I did. But what I will do, I'll pull that one and I'll go grab an empty one. But as you can see, the flux feeds this thing quite nicely. And if I stand here, you'll see how it's getting charged. That's because the Flux network charges everything on my hotbar for me. It's an awesome feature. Very cool. It means I don't have to worry about sending wireless chargers everywhere. Alright, so yeah, this is my my miner, and this of course is the deep dark. And we've done quite a bit of exploring. It's a really unique area, and it is loaded with resources. So, let's see here. Where's my magic? Oh, there it is. Another thing I love about RF tools. This thing has saved my bacon more times than I can count. Gotta wait for it to load. Alright. Let's go ahead and put that away. Throw these here real quick into there. Get that done. Over here. Ditch, 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 ditch. And you have diamonds. Tier 3. Whoops, bad call. Bad call. Don't do that. Don't do that one. Darn it, I thought for sure I had an empty one floating around here. So what I'll do is I'll go put this one away, because I'll have to process it here in a bit. Those are all full of things. We'll come over here to my environmental tech area. I've got a tier 1 resource, tier 1 ore, that's ore, this is resource, and a tier 2 ore. And I do. Awesome! Awesome. But what I do is I have both of them are full. Wow. Well, looks like I have to pull these out as well. Okay. And put 2 more cards in here. I thankfully have 2 empty cards. Very good for us. Again, you know, speed upgrades and whatnot. And she'll start filling back up again. But yeah, so of course back through here goes into there. And I have pass-through glass right here in a form of a plus sign or cross. And switch around down through here. Back in. And deep dark. Dial once. Dial once for home. Wait for it. Wait for it. And yeah, there we go. We're golden. Yeah, it would be a lot easier just to do a hole straight down and stuff, but we went this route because we really weren't sure how far up we were at. And if you do a hole straight down and things like that, bad things happen. So we figured just go ahead and do it this way. Oops. And we're full up there. Let's go ahead and go around here. And I will stick that in there. And there we go. Anyways, yeah, I do appreciate you. Wait, we still have one more thing we got to check out before we do anything else. I was going to say goodbye, but we have one more place to go, then we can say goodbye. Sorry about that. I'm adjusting my microphone. I have a Corsair 1500 headset, and the part that goes over the top of your head is like a padded foam. And this headset, I just got it last year, and I kept it in reserve. And when my other headset broke, thanks to the April Fool's Microsoft update, my headset wasn't working right, or, anyways, long story short, I had a bunch of audio problems, so I swapped out headsets. And this one, I pulled it out of the box. It's only about a month old, and already all the foam over that top piece is flaking off like a cat shredded it. So it's really ticking me off. Corsair products are just cheap stuff. There's my moon lander. Gosh darn it, that microphone is. And there's the rest of the moon base right here. We can go outside here in a second. Drop down here. I've been trying to keep everything sealed. As you can see, checking we are sealed. I have an airlock right here. And we can come out here. Now, the reason I can come out here is I got spacesuit on. I do have a spacesuit on. See? And my air containers are full up. But there's really not much to see around the moon. There are a couple of moon villages and things like that way. But there's really nothing much to see on the moon. It's sort of a dead planet. No trees, except in here. Maybe at some of the villages. How are we doing on power? Doing really good on power. But basically, you just have a couple of gardens, and you have these things called oxygen collectors. And then, of course, they go to oxygen sealers. And if my tank runs low, I can recharge my tank here. But I don't need, since this is all pressurized, I don't need to worry about having my spacesuit on in here. But if I go through that airlock, I'm dead. I'm really quick dead. And down here is just some trees and stuff I first experimented with, but they don't provide enough energy or enough oxygen to run it. So now in here it's not pressurized, so you definitely would not be able to breathe in here. Here's my other hurt ball, and as I'm here I can charge it, but it's already got 2 billion. Oh, warning. Haha. My oxygen setup is invalid. See? So that means one of my oxygen tanks, or both my oxygen tanks, are probably empty. And what we do to refill them, we stand in here and we just stick them right there. And they fill up. Really fast like. Well, anyways, I appreciate you watching. Anyways, this is the Final Frontier server. Final Frontier by Ichigo Games. It's available on the Curse Launcher. It's a fun pack. Again, there's no magic in this pack at all, except for the loot baggy thingy-majiggies. But that's about it, and it's all technical. It's a lot of fun to play. It's been one of the more stable mod packs that I've played. In fact, I've played this one longer than I have any other of the mod packs that are out. And I think that runs true for a lot of folks. And if you wish to check it out, by all means, come on to the server. There'll be a link in the description below. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.